together, and they put Steve under for 10 hours to work on him. And believe it or not, he comes out the other side. He even wrestles a match in August of '05 at the Wrestle Reunion 2 event. And fast forward to '06, and I'm sure his old pal JR helped him get an appearance at a SmackDown branded house show in Alexandria, Louisiana. And he briefly gets an opportunity to work with some up and coming wrestlers in Ohio Valley, including a young upstart named Jake Hager. So these Oklahoma boys got to stick together, right?
You're damn right. You know, it's just like your Roll Tide. We stuck together. I'm getting tears in my eyes. It's just, I tried to help him so many times because I loved him. Not unlike if somebody off the roster that I helped to facilitate a job, if they came to me today, I would help them. That was just my style. And I got that from Barry Switzer. You recruit a player for life. I've been at Switzer's house having drinks, having something cooking out or whatever, and his phone would be ringing incessantly from former players that either want to check on the coach or they needed something. They needed a bed. They needed rent money, things of that nature. And Coach Switzer looked at me just as serious as a heart attack. You know, kid, when you recruit these guys, Jim, you recruit them for life. That's how I work. You recruit them for life. And I had a friend for life, and I kept trying to help him. But the cancer kicked both our ass.
It's a sad story, but there are a couple of highlights on the way out. Once he gets Jake Hager up and going in OVW, he actually gets the team with Jake twice. I'm sure that was a thrill for both of them, both with their Oklahoma born and bred. And let's fast forward. There's an August 30th Raw house show. He's going to come out and address the crowd and announce that he's been cancer free for 4 years. His final match would happen August 15th, 2009 in Colorado Springs. He would win an independent championship there, but immediately vacate it right after. And unfortunately, the throat cancer comes back, and his last public appearance is at a WrestleFest convention, December 12th, 2009 in New Jersey. And sadly, Steve passed away on December 29th, 2009 at St. Anthony Central Hospital in Denver from throat cancer. He was just 49 years old when we lost him. And, everything I've heard from people who knew him, Jim, that even though he knew he was going down, he was, in positive spirits and had a good attitude about the whole thing. His relationship with God certainly gave him quite a bit of peace of mind.
Absolutely. That was a difference maker. His faith at the end and during this ordeal pulled him through. The love of his family and his friends, helped pull him through, but his faith in God and reading the Bible and knowing that he was going to a better place much sooner than later. He makes the appearance in New Jersey, and that was, I think, what was it, 2 weeks before he died?
Yeah, like 17 days.
Can you imagine the discomfort he was in?
No.
To go chase that goddamn payday? And that was it. That was it. And you know, I knew the end was coming. I wasn't totally unprepared for the phone call. And I know Coach Switzer and I we both cried because we took Coach Switzer got some alum to fly us to Colorado from Norman. And we flew to Colorado. Some of the Steve's coaches were on the flight. Coach Switzer most prominent, myself. And so we got to, we went to the services, and there's why, you know, he had a video done, and Conrad, you wouldn't even recognize him. The cancer had ravaged him. He couldn't eat, you know, his throat, it was horrible. It's horrible. And, it just proved to me that cancer is absolutely the devil, but he was fearless. At the end, he was fearless. He wasn't intimidated to die because he had made his peace and he was ready to go. And that funeral was a very emotional situation. His brother, Jeff, who was part of that package deal, you know, we'll sign Jeff because he's a pretty good tight end, but the one we want is the little brother.
Right.
So Jeff was there. They had stark resemblance to each other, as you would expect brothers to have more often than not. But it was a packed church. Small, but packed. And it was one of the most memorable days of my life. Not just in wrestling. It wasn't. This was way beyond wrestling. This is about friendship and the love of another human being. And somebody, I lost somebody that was irreplaceable. And I just wish I could have made it better for him. I wish he could have got that one run with Austin. And things had not happened. The brawl for all had not happened. But that's part of our journey, man. You know, I've talked about losing Jan and things of that nature. It's a part of my journey. Do I relish it? Hell no. Of course not. But it's a part of our journey. And we all know eventually what the destination is going to be. We're leaving Earth. We're dying. And Doc left us at 49 much too early. And but it was a heartbreaker. And the one thing for sure, I was living here in Oklahoma at the time, and I would have gone to his funeral if I had to drive. Been happy to. But Coach Switzer got hold of me and said, I'm going to Doc's funeral, and I know they want you there, and you want you to fly over there with us. So that's what we did. And we told Dr. Death stories all the way over and all the way back. And it was actually kind of fun, the trip. We knew why we were going. We knew what our responsibilities were when we got there. But telling stories about him and listening for me to listen to those stories from his coaches, the guys that he was around the most, was really cool because Steve had earned such great respect from his coaching staff. And he was their son. He was their son because Steve's dad passed away in the mid-'80s. So all those coaches kind of raised Steve. And, of course, you got his brother there on campus. Both of them are on scholarship. He was part of the family. And he certainly will always be a part of my family. I think about Steve virtually every day. Some shape, form, or fashion, somebody reminds me of Steve Dr. Death Williams. And I'll always be thankful to God that I had him in my life as long as I did.
What are your, do you have some favorite memories of spending time with Doc you want to share with us before we wrap things up?
Well, just that he was a big old teddy bear. You know, he had this gruff voice and gravelly voice and this menacing physique. I'll debate Mr. McMahon on the fact that Doc didn't have a good body. He had a body of an athlete. He did not have the body of a bodybuilder. He didn't look like Lex Luger. But I'll take Dr. Death and that motor and his toughness over just about anybody I've ever worked with. But we always had fun together. And, you know, Doc didn't always make the best decisions. And we can all say that about ourselves. I certainly have not either in my lifetime. I'm blessed to still be getting up this morning. But he was just a big teddy bear. He was emotional. He'd cry. You know, he had a hell of a temper when provoked, but he didn't want to go there first. He wasn't a bully. He was not a bully. He just was a magnificent, gifted athlete that was special. But he was most special as my friend. And I'll always miss my friend. And I just hope someday I get to see him again at the end of the day.
What do you think his legacy will be in professional wrestling? And can you recommend a couple of Dr. Death matches for some of our younger listeners who may not be familiar with his work to go check out?
Well, his legacy is going to be that he was legitimately one of the toughest guys to ever put on tights. He was legitimately one of the all-time toughest guys in the history of pro wrestling. Was he the guy that could beat anybody up in a fight and all that stuff in a street fight without those damn boxing gloves on? Why do you put boxing gloves on a wrestler? Why do you put a wrestler in an elaborate tough man contest? No sense. Makes no sense. But I think his legacy is going to be Doc was a bad dude physically. He was a wonderful, soft-hearted guy internally. That's how I think his legacy is going to be. But I think the toughness and his physicality, his athletic ability for his size, is what he's going to be known for. I think if you go back and look at any of the Doc and Gordy matches against the Steiners, money, go back and look at his match where he won the UWF title against the Big Boss Man, a.k.a.
Big Bubba Rogers.
Big Bubba, No Trouble. Classic. the match he had with Gordy in Houston in the tournament money. So all those were matches that I would suggest people go back and look at. Because you look at Hall of Fame level guys, human beings, and extraordinary talents that we don't see dotted in the wrestling landscape today. Big size, and I'm going to sound like a size freak here. It's just the fact that the bigger guys that are athletic draw money. Cowboy told me that years ago. Athletic big men sell tickets. That doesn't mean that athletic smaller guys don't sell tickets. It just means that you got a less of a margin for error. If you got a big rugged ass athlete that looks real, legitimate, is more easily marketed than a smaller guy. Smaller guys are better suited for tag teams. Look at the Midnights were not giants. Certainly Ricky and Robert, the Rock and Roll Express, were not giants. So they were great in tag teams. Doc was very effective in tags, as we talked about, but he was also effective as a singles guy. So I think that those matches, I'd check those out. Steiner's tag, the Gordy one-on-one in Houston, the UWF match with Ray Traylor was just a piece of art. So go back and look at those folks, and you'll see what we're talking about here, and you'll see, look at the amazing athleticism and balance and all that you love, you covet in any wrestler, no matter their size. So he certainly, if I had a Hall of Fame, he'd be in it. I can tell you that right now. He would certainly be in my Hall of Fame just because I'm biased, I'm partial, and I love the guy.
Well, and we love that you were able to share all this with us. We know he was one of your great friends, and today would have been a special day, his 60th birthday. So let's fill up Twitter today, guys, with some of your favorite Dr. Death matches and celebrate the legacy of one of the best wrestlers that ever put on a pair of tights. Next week, we've got something else fun coming your way. Looking forward to it each and every week here, only on Westwood One. Of course, you can get these shows early and ad-free if you'll join us over at adfreeshows.com. But next week, we're going to turn the volume up in the WWF universe. We're going to be watching Judgment Day 2000. It's not a watch-along, but both Jim and I will check it out and then give you our thoughts and feedback about the news and notes surrounding the company. And then we'll finish out the month of May with a May 25th, 2005 Raw is War watch along. It's a special show, no spoilers, but watch it with us. But next week, Judgment Day 2000. He is at JR's BBQ. I am at Hey It's Conrad, and we are out of time. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and pick up the brand new book, Under the Black Hat, at jrsbbq.com. We'll see you next week right here on Westwood One. It's Grillin' JR with the voice of wrestling. I've been telling you for a long time that SaveWithConrad.com can save you money, but don't take my word for it.
What made you come to Save with Conrad in the first place?
I was looking to buy my mother's house, and I was dealing with some local, banks and mortgage companies, and I was just shopping around, and I do listen to all of the podcasts, and, I constantly hear it, so I figured, let me see what these guys have to offer.
Now, working with Derek, what was your favorite part about working with him?
It was like he was around the corner. If I needed something and I called him or I texted him or sent an email, I would get a response like I was dealing with someone across town, not, from New Jersey to Alabama.
How much money were we able to save you?
We definitely saved thousands of dollars, going with, Conrad and Derek, helping us out from what I was dealing with, what I was hearing from other mortgage companies. First family was able to get us a better deal on the house.
Would you recommend us to a friend or a coworker?
Absolutely would recommend you guys in a heartbeat.
So what are you waiting for? Find out how much money you can save right now for free. You don't need perfect credit or money out of your pocket. Even credit scores in the 500s can be approved. And if we can't save you money, we won't waste your time. But because we're licensed in more than 40 states, we can help more families than ever before. Find out how much money you can save right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com. Oh, and did I mention you could skip your next 2 house payments? Hurry to SaveWithConrad.com.
NMLS number 65084, Equal Housing Lenders. Woo!